Monopoly, how to play. The object of the game is to be the last player remaining once all the other players have gone bankrupt. Lay out the board, and each player picks a token and places it on go. Shuffle the chance and community chest decks and place them on their spots on the board. Give each player 1,500 money divided as follows. All the remaining money stays with the game and is called the bank. One player is the banker and manages the bank's money, which must be separate from their own. Place the property cards, houses, and hotels with the bank. Each player rolls the dice, and the player with the highest total goes first. Then play proceeds clockwise. On your turn, roll both dice and move your token exactly that many spaces clockwise around the board. If you land on an unowned property, you may buy it from the bank for the listed price. You receive the property card and place it face up in front of you. If you do not wish to buy it, then the bank must sell it at auction to the highest bidder. Bidding starts at 10 money and can increase in any increment. If no one bids, then the title stays with the bank. If you land on a property that another player owns, that player must ask you for rent. Pay them rent according to the price on their property card based on the status of that property. A colored set is when you own all the properties for that color. If the player does not ask for rent before the next player rolls the dice, then you do not need to pay them. When you own all the properties of the same color, you have a monopoly. You are now allowed to build houses and hotels on those properties at any time, even on another player's turn. The price per house is listed on each property. You must build and sell houses evenly across all properties in a monopoly. You are not allowed to build up or break down just one property. A property may not have more than 4 houses on it. When a player has 4 houses on each of their properties in a monopoly, they may upgrade those properties to hotels for the cost of another house, replacing the 4 houses on the property with a hotel. A property with a hotel may not be improved further. When you sell buildings back to the bank, they give you half the value you purchased them for. If multiple people want to purchase the last house, then it is auctioned off starting at 10 money. If the bank runs out of houses for you to buy, you are allowed to buy straight up to hotels. If there are no buildings left, you must wait for some to be sold back to the bank before you can purchase them. If you do not have enough money to pay another player or the bank, you must sell off your hotels and houses and mortgage property until you can pay the creditor. To mortgage your property, if it is part of a monopoly, then no property in that color set may have buildings on it. Flip the property face down and collect the mortgage value from the bank. If a player lands on a mortgaged property, they do not pay any rent, and they are not allowed to buy the mortgaged property. The other properties in a color set still receive their bonus rent level even if some of the set is mortgaged. To unmortgage a property, you must pay the bank the listed price. If you sell and mortgage everything and still don't have enough money to pay, you are bankrupt and you are out of the game. Give all that you have to the creditor. Mortgaged properties remain mortgaged. Anytime a player receives a mortgaged property, they must either pay back the mortgage or upkeep the mortgage by paying 10% of the mortgage value, keeping the property mortgaged. As you travel around the board, several things can happen. If you land on chance or community chest, you draw one card from its respective draw pile and follow the instructions on the card. Then, place the card at the bottom of its deck. If you land on a tax space, you pay the bank the listed amount. If you land on free parking, nothing happens. When you land on or pass go, you collect 200 money from the bank. If you land on go to jail, you go immediately to jail and you do not pass go and you do not collect 200 money. If you land on the jail space, you aren't in jail, but are visiting. During the game, you may trade with other players, cash, get out of jail free cards, and properties that do not have any houses or hotels on them for any agreed upon price. You may not sell or trade buildings to players. You may not trade free rent or loan players money. You may not gift players money, buildings, or cards. You may not give discounts. If you roll doubles, after you move, you get to roll and move again. Unless this is the 3rd time you've rolled doubles in a single turn, then you go straight to jail. If you're in jail, you are still allowed to buy and sell houses, trade with players, and collect rent. But you do not get to move. At the start of your turn, you may pay 50 money to be released from jail. If you do this, pay, then roll the dice and continue your turn as normal. Or, if you choose not to pay, you still roll the dice. If you roll doubles, you are released from jail and move that many spaces. Then your turn ends. You do not get to roll again. If you fail to roll doubles by your third turn in jail, you must pay the 50 money, then move the number of spaces you did roll. The last player remaining, once everyone else is bankrupt, wins.